I would say the biggest thing I had to overcome would be having to overcome the statistics that the world put on me, that my peers would put on me, or just what you hear in our culture had put on me. And it started when I was younger. As a little girl, I grew up in utter poverty, and I also grew up with a learning disability. I mean, I could hardly even read well in the 5th grade. And so it was like these struggles caused so much insecurity. And not only did I have that insecurity, I also had struggled with bullies. So like there was a fear to go to school all through my elementary years. And so, because I was being bullied. And then growing up and all that. And then in the midst of being a child, I get sexually assaulted by a really close family friend at a sleepover at my friend's house. And it happened more than one time. So being that insecure child, I didn't tell anybody, which was like the worst mistake to make, not telling somebody, because it brewed nothing but anger and hatred, not only for myself, but for this person and for anybody who loved me, I ended up turning from. And so I wrote in my journal when I was about 11 or 12 that I felt like when he touched me, he took my life in his hands. And so I just felt empty. And then that's a statistic in itself. These people who are being sexually assaulted, it steals your life, you feel like. And so that's when I decided, you know, I'm done with life. I had multiple attempts of suicide on me. I was in 3 different psych wards. I was in a few different rehabs. I just got in with one wrong crowd to another wrong crowd. And I could put it back to this one wrong friend I should have never been around. And so I embraced my hurt and I ran to try to fill it through wrong relationships, through drugs, through alcohol, and one thing kept leading to another. I never thought I'd be a drug addict, and not in a million years, but because I placed myself in that wrong situation over and over again, I became one. And then in the midst of that, I ended up finding who was my boyfriend, and we just, together, we were each other's crutch. We just spiraled into such a deep hole of being each other's, we were codependent on each other completely. And so he was just as broken as I was, so together we were a mess. I ended up running away, and then I was staying with his mom, who we were all doing drugs together. And one day she decided to commit suicide, and I had to find her dead. And so here I am, this young girl. How do you deal with that? And that hurts so bad. And that is now where I entered like the darkest time in my life. The drugs increased, I was still away from home, I was still gone. And that's when I hit total rock bottom. And I just didn't want to live, so I was abusing my body. I got pregnant with my daughter, which is the first time I felt life. So I knew I needed her. And when I got pregnant, everyone said to have an abortion, and even my counselor said it. And so I went to a Christian counselor, and then they just make me feel bad for one, keep her. They said I should put her up for adoption. That's when I just said no. I'm keeping her. And I went into rehab because I needed to be away from everybody. And so when I went into rehab, I came out knowing I need to find a church. When I came home from the hospital, I found this church, and I knew I found home. And I stayed there. It's where I met my husband. And we currently have 3 kids, ages 18, 14, and 12, who are all serving God in their own cool relationship with Him. I have people that look at me and they're like, you must have had the perfect life. And I look at them and think, thank you. Like, that's a testimony of how much God can take your complete mess when everyone says you should be something. But God never called me a statistic. He called me an overcomer. Even though I don't have the stain of my past, that past And all of my victories help me to remember when I'm currently going through something and the storm is so bad, it's hard to see through. You rehearse your victories and you say, he did it before, he'll do it again. And if he did it for you, he'll do it for me. So I would say keep going. And when you feel that weight and pressure and you just want to get out of it, and you might want to run to the alcohol, or you might want to run to drugs, or to gossip, or to whatever is your dependency to get away from the pressure, I'd say stand, stay, and fight the good fight of faith. I'm Carley Huffman, and I'm an overcomer.